Hello guys, welcome back to BoreDraw, and today we're continuing our series of Premier League pre-season videos, and we're going to be talking about one and only Aston Villa, Unai Emery's boys. Last season went on an absolute tear. They ditched Steven Gerrard, he's now at El Atifaki.
Yeah.
Anna Steven Gerrard, Anna El Atifaki. See you soon. What a video.
And then the one where he's doing training. He's like, do you want the ball?
Come and get it.
So funny.
But yeah, they ditched Stevie G and they brought in a man who was mocked for his abilities to speak English. And he just turned around and said, I might not be able to speak English, but I know football. And he's taken them to heights. The heights of the Europa Conference or Europa League, one of them.
Europa Conference.
Yeah. They snuck in on the last day, didn't they?
Yeah.
But yeah, we're talking about Unai Emery, of course. Aston Villa, who have been fairly proactive this summer in the transfer market. Sort of going a bit under the radar and doing it in a outspoken fashion.
Yeah, they've always had money. They've always had kind of an owner that is willing to spend the dough. And I don't want to be like, Steven Gerrard doesn't have pull because he got them Felipe Coutinho, etc. But I think with a manager like Unai Emery, you've got extra pull. You've got a seasoned European competition winner. You've got a guy that's challenged in Spain. You've got a guy that's challenged in France.
Managed some of the biggest names in the world.
So he is definitely a more appealing manager to work under. I don't know if he's a more appealing person to learn from than Steven Gerrard. But as a manager, managing a team right now, you want to work for Unai Emery rather than Steven Gerrard, and that was evidenced by how much he turned this Aston Villa team around last season.
They went on a crazy run of not losing.
Yeah, I think from when they signed him to the end of the season, form guide was their third
I think it was Arsenal or City were better than them.
And then, it was Villa. Yeah.
And it was unbelievable. And one of the main reasons for their success was he got Ollie Watkins firing.
Yeah.
Absolutely firing. And he's sort of shown that wherever he goes, he can get his forward men scoring heavy. And I think one of the, in an interview, Ollie Watkins was saying that instead of wanting him to run into channels and create space, he just said, stay in the box and float around, be where you want, because you have the instinct, and that instinct in strikers is so often driven out of them because they're told to, right, when your right back's got the ball at this position of the pitch, you've got to be running into this channel here to create space for your overlapping 8.
Especially because Ollie Watkins is good at running the channels as well.
100%.
But if you want to score 20, 30 goals in the Prem, you can't be running the channels all the time.
No, 100%. You have to have people to run off you.
Yeah.
Or you have to be arriving late so that people can run off the channels for you. But yeah, it was really interesting. And one of the main things that I've liked about Unai Emery's football is that he had a bit of a reputation for boring football when he was at Arsenal. And even at Sevilla as well, he his football wasn't so free-flowing. Aston Villa were playing some amazing football, and they've got the class to do it in the players that are already there. Not just the players they brought in this season, but you've got the likes of Buendia. I think Buendia is such an outrageous player.
Buendia, quality player. Jacob Ramsey. Talking about Emile Smith-Rowe in the last Arsenal video. Let us know if you enjoyed that. But Jacob Ramsey was also in that Euro 21 squad until he got injured and had to leave the tournament. But quality player. John McGinn, so underrated. So good. So underrated. He had kind of, when he was playing under Steven Gerrard, a bit of a hard time. But so good. Captain now and, yeah, just
Douglas Luiz.
All over the pitch. Yeah, Douglas Luiz.
I think Douglas Luiz is one of the most underrated
so good.
in the Premier League.
Man City signed him for a reason. Quality player. Yeah, one of the best DMs in the league. And then you've got a lot of decent defenders,
Boubacar Kamara as well.
Kamara, quality free
fantastic player.
And then defenders already at the club. You've got Diego Carlos, who spent most of last season injured. You've got Tyrone Mings. I'm not his biggest fan. I think he's a bit rash, but decent mid-prem level defender. Ezri Konsa, we're talking about underrated. I think this guy is so good.
He's unreal.
So he's
I'm surprised
quality.
Brentford let him go.
So, yeah, quality players. Should we talk about their transfer business to add on to these quality players?
We forgot to mention one, Emi Martinez, World Cup
waste,
winner.
man.
World Cup winning goalkeeper, and he is elite. He's a top tier keeper.
Yeah, no.
He's one of the best in the Premier League, in my opinion. Anyway, Ros might have something different to say about that. But yeah, let's move on to their transfer activity. Transfer activity. Aston Villa, like we were saying, they've been doing it sort of a little bit under the radar. They get their deals done early and effectively, and they brought in some very, very high caliber players.
Yeah, let's start from the back. Pau Torres recently announced, I think it was today, if I'm correct. He'd been linked with for a while. He played under Unai Emery at Villarreal. Outrageous player, one of Spain's best centre-back talents at the moment. He's in the Spain squad. Yeah, he was linked to big teams. I think Man United was sniffing around him. I think Arsenal, before we got Ben White, was sniffing around him. Yeah, he's a good player. Very good player. And I think, obviously, we're talking about the pull of Unai Emery. The fact that he's played under Unai Emery is buzzing. So I think Aston Villa fans can be very excited about Pau Torres slotting in next to Eva. And I think earlier I was saying about about Tyrone Mings being a little bit like meh. I think back three that you rotate depending on who's injured of Ezri Konsa, Pau Torres, and Diego Carlos when he's back.
That's a top tier selection,
mate. That's fucking fire.
You struggle to find better than that in the Premier League without looking at the top.
That's
3,
good.
4
That's top. That's European spots. I mean, is what I'm talking there.
All three of those would walk into the Spurs team,
mate.
Which says something.
That's facts. Yeah, that's European battling defence if I've ever seen one. I think I'd like to see some strengthening at fullback positions. I know they got Alex Moreno halfway through last season, who came in, slotted in really good. Another player that Unai Emery picked out that he wanted to, I think, displace Digne. I quite like the signing when Aston Villa signed Digne, but he hasn't really kicked on. And I don't know if he's an Unai Emery kind of player.
It's like a yellow card magnet.
Yeah, because Digne is more of a kind of hold the touchline, whipping crosses, whereas Alex Moreno is kind of more up and down the pitch, can cut inside. He's a bit more technically gifted than Digne. And then on the other side, you got Matty Cash, who's by quality, but I'd like some more depth on that side to compete with Matty Cash.
Someone to push him a little bit.
Yeah. But yeah, the defensive unit, I think all in all, like we said, Emi Martinez in goal is solid.
Yeah, it's a very strong foundation for you to build your team through.
And then in the midfield,
this one was always going to be a contentious one because he could have gone to a pick of clubs. He was one of the best midfielders in the world.
Football Manager 2018, the best wonder kid on the game by a country mile.
From Anderlecht.
Mate, he was disgusting.
Yeah, Anderlecht to Monaco. Did he go to Roma at one point? I can't remember.
No,
it was Anderlecht to Monaco, wasn't it?
And then to Leicester,
And then to Leicester, yeah. We're talking about
nab
one and only Yuri Tielemans. On a free transfer from obviously relegated Leicester. It's a good bit of business.
It's a very good bit of business.
But the problem is, I don't know how good he still is. And I think there's still a player there.
Yeah.
Because he was never one to rely on his speed or his power. He was a very technical player, very proficient with the football. And I think he can offer something different in that Aston Villa midfield that they don't really have. It's a different kind of finesse. I think John McGinn has a really good passing range on him.
Yeah.
And I think he's a battler as well.
Yeah, he's an engine, isn't he? He gets about the
proper
pitch.
Catalyst in the midfield.
Little rat, mate. If you want a yellow card, put it on John McGinn.
This opens up a wider range of passing options. I can see him almost facilitating a sort of like a Rakitic role.
Yeah, I think alongside Douglas Luiz, both of them get about the pitch and then are technically just so good. I think Unai Emery likes technically gifted players.
They're technically gifted in different ways.
Yeah, I think that's like why at Arsenal, even though they didn't have the legs, he played a midfield of like Xhaka, Mkhitaryan and Ozil, who there's not enough legs in there really, but technically all three of those are elite level. I think it's similar here. You're kind of lacking legs, which John McGinn brings, but Douglas Luiz and Yuri Tielemans technically so good. And I think that midfield, you get Boubacar Kamara in there as well, who's an absolute engine battler. So you could play a rotation of all of those. Rotation of all of those is nice. Like you said, they've got Buendia as well, technically gifted. Still got Coutinho on the books. So I think, yeah, midfield, again, is one of their stronger suits. Going on from when I said I want them to sign some fullbacks, I think up top, some rotation with Ollie Watkins. Maybe someone to play off of.
They've got Danny Ings.
No, he's gone to.
Oh
West
no, he's
Ham.
at West Ham, isn't he?
Yeah, trollop.
Mad.
But
Do you know what I got? Like,
he's had a hair transplant, Danny Ings.
mate,
10 racks.
Burnley, Villa, and West
all
Ham.
the same kit.
No. They've got rotated kits.
Yeah, it's tough.
I think Villa are wearing a West Ham kit.
Yeah, it's weird.
Burnley are wearing a Villa kit, and West Ham are wearing a Burnley kit.
Kit ranking coming out soon.
Let's move on to. Oh no, you want to talk about?
Yeah, I want them to be a bit more exciting up top. I want them to have Ollie Watkins, who's obviously quality, but sometimes there's too much pressure on just him to get the goals. I want someone else to pick up the goals, because I think last season it was Ollie Watkins on like 15, 16, and then their next highest goal scorer was Jacob Ramsey on like 5. So they need someone else to chip in with the goals.
They've got in terms of what they have in their academy, they've got Cameron Archer,
yeah,
who
baller, Middlesbrough,
just won
Euros
under 21s.
Yeah.
They've got Tim Irabonum, who I think he's a centre midfielder. He was fantastic for QPR this season. Really exciting player. I would keep your eye on him. They had Chukwuemeka come through, didn't they? And he's obviously at Chelsea. But that would have been a nice player to keep around.
Yeah.
They have a good academy as well, so it shouldn't be underestimated sort of how they use that.
Yeah, got Jacob Ramsey's little brother, Aaron.
Yeah.
Who was I think he was at the under 21s as well.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think for me, if I was an Aston Villa fan, I'd be very happy with the business.
Different kind of striker, I think.
But yeah, just a different kind of striker, like you were saying about Danny Ings. But just someone like that who is known for getting 10 to 15 goals. Just so, even like Victor Gyökeres from the Championship. I know he's gone to Sporting now.
Gyökeres, yeah, would have been.
But if they got him, just someone that...
Maybe someone like Tammy.
Just someone that gets goals. Yeah, I was going to say Tammy's probably beyond them, but not with the business they're pulling off.
I don't know.
Let's talk about how...
He's gone to Real Madrid, so like...
Yeah, that's true. What's the world doing these days?
Let's talk about how they're going to line up.
Facts.
Coming up against Newcastle United on their first game of the Premier League season. Obviously, it's predicted lineup, so is what it is.
Yeah, just ignore us. We could be chatting shit. But I think Unai Emery, he's going to stick with what he was doing towards the end of last season, which is back four of Alex Moreno, Tyrone Mings, Konsa, Cash. I think we could be seeing the end of Tyrone Mings.
Yeah, I think he might get faded out a bit.
I think they got Pau Torres in early enough in the window that he'll get pre-season.
He'll get a bunch. He'll get like a month of pre-season.
And I think him and Konsa, while Diego Carlos is getting fit, I think that's what we're cooking. And I think we could be looking at Tyrone Mings maybe going to like one of the... No, they've got European football. Maybe they won't let him go. But maybe one of the 3 boys that came up. Maybe I could see him at Sheffield United.
I think he's too good for that still. I see him at Everton, like a Dyche player.
Or in Everton, yeah, that's not bad.
They're signing Johnny Evans, according to their TikTok, which got leaked.
And then a midfield, you got Kamara, Douglas Luiz. Obviously, Tielemans probably gets in there. But so they play kind of like a 4-4-2, but the 2 on the outside of the midfield aren't really like wide players.
It's like FIFA 4-2-2-2 cap.
Yeah, it's very narrow.
Yeah.
So you got a deeper line players like Kamara, Douglas Luiz, maybe even Tielemans, but you probably won't want to play them that deep. And then you got the ones that push on a bit further, John McGinn, Jacob Ramsey.
I think we might see a move in tactical news from Emery, where he might move to a back 3. I think he might move to a back 3 at some point during the season. Potentially when it's not going right, or if he feels like he needs to freshen up, or he feels like he needs to get his best players on the pitch. I feel like you go with the back 3 of what's his name, Brazilian Donny, Diego Carlos, Konsa, and Pau Torres, and then you got players like Matty Cash. He could be a right wing back all day long. You've got sitting midfielders in the likes of Kamara and Luiz.
Yeah.
And then you can have someone play off them. You got Jacob Ramsey, you got Tielemans, you got Josh McGinn. So they can all play off of that, like holding midfielder in a 2. And then you've got free flowing football up top, baby. You got bloody Bailly.
Yeah, we haven't put
Bailey.
enough respect on Bailey's name.
Jamaican brother, isn't he?
Yeah, didn't really do enough for me last season, but good player.
But and Coutinho's still there.
Coutinho's still there.
Yeah, Ollie Watkins. I mean, Buendia. There's a lot of like variation. They've got depth.
Yeah,
which I think they're going to need, especially in this European Conference League.
I think it's going to be an exciting season for Aston Villa. I think they can be looking forward to European competition, and I think they're going to push on. Like Unai Emery is a good manager, and I think He's recruited well. It's not like one of those cases where you get a good manager but you don't back him. They've backed him. They got in the players he wants. Diego Carlos, they got in. That wasn't his player, but Alex Moreno, Pau Torres, blah blah blah. So I think Aston Villa can be looking forward to a good season.
Let us know down below how you think Aston Villa are going to fare coming up to the 23-24 season. Let us know who you think they should sign, if they've got any budget left. And are they going to go far in European competition? Who knows? But yeah, guys, thank you very much for watching. It's been BoreDraw. Remember to hit that like button, subscribe if you're not already. We're going to be reviewing all of the 20 Premier League teams coming up to the beginning of the season.
Non-stop videos, my guy.
Literally 6 videos a week until the start of the season.
Gonna see
Get
so
involved.
much of us.
Get involved. Thank you very much for watching, guys. It's been BoreDraw, and it's live.